All right, so I guess I'm just gonna read this article. I've never read it before, so we're gonna find out something together here. The integration of social and individual life in 5th century Rome was partly caused by the fact that the center did not hold. There's no center anymore, no matrix to support spiritual life and sustain deeper human aspirations and visions. Christianity created a new center and with it a new spiritual matrix. Out of this center and matrix grew a new civilization, a new just in like the 5th century started what we were taught. Holding less well. New problems emerged to which Christianity could not provide an adequate response. As a result, new philosophies and ideologies were created to solve specific problems of their epochs. Marxism emerged in the 19th century to solve some important problems. In the epoch of growing prosperity, of enlightened reason and progress triumphant, it was an insult to human dignity and human reason itself that so many people would live in the squalor produced by the satanic mills of the Industrial Revolution, which exploited them ruthlessly and shamelessly. Social justice was an imperative following the premises of enlightened reason. At least Marx thought so, and he set himself to rectify the undesirable social conditions in which his opinion was responsible. The idea of justice about which Marx was so adamant and passionate brought about redressing the social balance very considerably, in some countries, a paradoxical consequences. Sorry, I haven't even read through this ever, so. The working class has become one of the most conservative and selfish, quite oblivious of the idea of social program of buying out the working class, domination of nature to the point that the whole process has backfired on us. Our domination has become our colony, which we've plundered and polluted beyond belief. I also lost my connection, so I'm going to backtrack for a minute. There are, of course, some other mechanisms which are responsible for the state of affairs, such as the program of buying out the working class, which in the US has been quite successful. As history unfolds, new problems emerge. In the second part of the 20th century, neither problems emerged to which neither Christianity nor Marxism offer an adequate response. As the power of technology has grown, so has our domination to the point that the whole process has backfired. Our domination has become our colony, which we've plundered and polluted. In both Christianity and Marxism, nature is considered a dominion given to us for our use. The language may be different in each case, but the premise is the same. Nature and environment are for us. It's a dominion given by God, Christianity. It is a natural resource which we can and should use for the amelioration of humankind. Christianity and Marxism are identical in elevating the human species above all other species and in disregarding the subtle mesh of unity and solidarity that prevails among all creatures. For this reason, both Christianity and Marxism have been taken by surprise by the magnitude of the ecological crisis. Neither of them has yet found an adequate response on a deep conceptual and moral level. Incidentally, Buddhism and Taoism and Hinduism, to a large degree, are much less in a bind with regard to environmental problems. The essential unity with all living beings is an underlying assumption of these doctrines. It follows them not only a stupid person departs from the Tao, the right path, and in the process causes the destruction in the forms of life and finally our own. Only an underseeing, enlightened, and partly blind person will cause harm to others without realizing that this harm will come back through the law of karma, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism. Thus is the very structure of perception of the Oriental cultures in their formations lie deep, far-reaching responses to the problem of ecological crises. Oriental cultures, in their foundations, lie deep the far-reaching responses to the problem of the ecological crisis. We've departed from the path of Dharma and Karma. We have got out of the cosmic wheel, and we can return to it, for we know what it is, Buddhism and Hinduism. The return to the original unity assumed in these systems of belief is at the same time entering the path of ecological restoration and ecological sanity. In Western culture, we've departed from this unitary scheme of things altogether. We've lost the sense of unity. The return to the original God as the Father may be the path of the individual redemption, but is not the path of ecological restoration. The return to the pristine version of communism, which some identify with the path to early primitive Christianity, may be a path to social justice and the new social equilibrium, but not a path to ecological restoration. During the last decade, many Christian thinkers and theologians have become acutely aware of the missing ecological dimension of the Bible and of Christian teachings at large. Some of the new interpretations of the Bible were offered. A new interpretation. See, that's the thing, guys. Everything's up for interpretation. That's why a lot of my art, like most of my art. Sorry, George is over there. I get freaked out when I hit the magazine. Art, like most of my art. Sorry, George is over there. I get freaked out when I